Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally giving you my Barbie spoiler review. I know this video was a bit late. I have been talking about Barbie in detail in my live streams, which I do every day, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on this channel, but I haven't given you my solo review yet, so now here is the video. Here are my spoiler in-depth thoughts on the Barbie movie. I've been looking forward to it for weeks, so I'm just so happy that I'm finally seeing it. It's been a long time coming, so yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. Let's get into the review. Up next. So firstly, just going through the plot real quick. The movie starts off with Barbie being very happy in Barbie world. Everything's going great for her. She's having Barbie parties with all of her girlfriends where they just have like constant parties every night. Like she's pretty much having the life. And I really loved just seeing like the day-to-day lives of these Barbies and like how they greet each other in the morning. We got to see how Barbie eats her breakfast, how she drives around. I just really loved getting to spend a lot of time in that world and really feeling like we were living there. The film was just incredibly immersive and like just one of the most beautiful sets possible. I mean, really, if this movie doesn't win Best Production Design, rewrite it, because look at this. I have never seen a set that is so gorgeous and so beautiful, and it was just like eye candy for the eyes. I couldn't stop looking at it. Every time this movie was in Barbie world, I was happy. And something I was a little bit worried about just from the marketing was that I was afraid we were gonna spend more time in the real world than we did in Barbie world, but thankfully no, we do spend most of our time in Barbie world, so you get to see a lot of it, which I was very happy about. But of course things don't stay perfect for Barbie forever, because she's suddenly like, oh wait, do you guys ever think about death?
Do you guys ever think about dying?
And of course that's not appropriate, because she's supposed to be stereotypical Barbie. This Barbie's supposed to be perfect and never have any flaws and never have flat feet. She's always supposed to have arched feet and just float down from the sky and just be perfect in every way. So Barbie starts to freak out and she goes to Weird Barbie, which is the Barbie that's been played hard a little bit too much. And then she's like, you gotta go to the real world to figure things out or you're never gonna know. So that's what Barbie does. She heads off to the real world in her little Barbie car. Ken tags along and they end up in the real world. And that's where things start to get weird. As I mentioned, I was really nervous that the momentum and the wow factor of the movie was going to go down once they were outside of Barbie world, since so much of the appeal is in the visuals. But I have to say, I still really liked the real world scene too. I liked America Ferrera's character and her daughter. I think it was a nice twist that America Ferrera was the person that was playing with Margot Robbie, not the little girl, so it's actually about the mom, not the girl. I think that's very smart. But in the real world is when we really start to see like where this movie is going with gender relations type stuff. And this is at the point in the movie where I was like, oh boy, where is this movie going? Because I knew we were about to get real controversial real fast. Because of course Ken his whole life has been used to living in Barbie world, where Barbie world is ruled of course by all the Barbies, so aka women. He's used to being treated as less than just because he's a Ken or a man. And then when they get to the real world, Ken finds that the real world is like the opposite of Barbie world, and all the men are in charge and women are treated as second. And I think you can see where this is going and why people have been apparently burning Barbie dolls over it. Like, oh my god, people, come on. But it's not even that bad. I'm about to explain why in a minute. But of course, Ken is like, oh, but I like the patriarchy. People actually think I'm important here. So he decides to go back to Barbie world and turn Barbie world into Ken world. The movie like explicitly states that Ken's bringing the patriarchy, the literal patriarchy, to Barbie world. So, you know, not subtle at all. And honestly, I think the messaging in this movie could have been a little bit more subtle. There is a scene later in the film where America Ferrera gives a very impassioned speech about what it's like to be a woman. And even though I very much agreed with everything she said, I liked the messaging more when it was told more casually within the plot and the story. I don't need the movie to come to like a crashing halt to basically have America Ferrera finger wag her way at the camera, because it all felt very much like, yes, here are the mainstream feminist talking points since like 2010. You know what I mean? If you're terminally online like me, you've heard all of that before. But But at the same time, I did like how they handled the boys versus girls thing here. I think they handled the gender topic very, very well. Not only because Ryan Gosling, who did an amazing job in this movie, by the way, not only did he kind of play it like Ken was a child who just didn't really know that what he was doing was that wrong, he played it very naively, so even though Ken was doing a lot of really horrible things in this movie, the way Ryan Gosling played him, it was like you couldn't help but just, you felt a little bad for him. I mean, again, at the beginning of the movie, I actually felt kind of bad for Ken. And I think we were supposed to, as an audience, feel bad for Ken and how he was kind of being left out a lot. So I don't think Ken was ever portrayed as this evil person who only cared about himself and being a man. All the stuff that he did later on in the film when he brought the patriarchy to Barbie world was coming from a place of hurt and just trying to flip the script on Barbie. Only for Barbie to then realize, hey, that was kind of a bad thing we both were doing, maybe we shouldn't do that. And I think this is what really saves the whole movie for me and why I don't understand when people keep saying the movie is anti-men. Because in this scene, Barbie is actually apologizing for Ken for how she was treating him at the beginning of the movie. As a reminder, it's at this point in the film that Barbie has come back to Barbie world after being in the real world, and she has discovered that Ken has completely changed Barbie world into Ken world. And she's realizing that it kind of sucks to be treated like a second-class person. So basically she has the roles reversed on her. And what this scene between Barbie and Ken is saying is that, hey, it's not very nice to treat each other this way. Barbies shouldn't treat Ken like they're less than, and Ken shouldn't treat Barbies like they're less than. They should just see each other as individuals and not have to conform to the expectations of a Ken and a Barbie, and they can just be who they want to be.
And Ken. There is no just Ken.
This movie is actually very much pro-men. It's pro-men and women equality. So I don't get where all this anti-man stuff is coming from. Again, the message of the movie is saying neither men or women have to conform to the stereotypes that society puts on us. Not all women have to be a Barbie, and not all men have to be a Ken. Sometimes we are all just Kenuff. That's fine. And that's literally kind of the whole message of the movie. Was the whole gender role aspect something that I wanted to be part of this film? No. To be honest, based on the trailers, I was just kind of hoping this would be more of an escapist fantasy. I really wasn't hoping for some big feminist movie, even though I'm not surprised it is, because, I mean, it is a Barbie movie after all. But the message we got, I thought, was done very well and was done very even-handed for both men and women. I mean, the movie talks about the struggles that both men and women face and how a lot of those struggles stem from the fact that we have all these societal expectations on us because of our gender. And the end of the movie is saying you don't really need those expectations, you can just be an individual. And I think that message is really nice. Mix the message with the fact that the cast is incredible. Honestly, all these women and all the Kens were like pretty hilarious. I thought the cast really brought their A game. Like no one was subtle. Everyone just like went the mile. Like everyone just went for it with their performances, which made the world more fun. And again, the fact that as a woman, I really appreciated that we got a fun blockbuster movie that was made specifically for women, which is not something we do get a lot of. It is like very girly. I appreciate that. We don't get a lot of like girly super feminine characters either, so I appreciated having that. And of course, I loved the message at the end with the really sad Billie Eilish song with the moment where Barbie's talking to Ruth. Oh, the ending was so touching. It's so well done. I didn't cry, but it was a very emotional moment. It brought the whole message of the film about what it means to be a woman, or even what it means to be a man. Really, it's just what it means to grow up in a world where you're already having all these expectations upon you. That's really what the movie's about. If I do have one critique about the ending, it's that I don't like how she had to be wearing like this beige kind of ugly laser outfit. I don't know why she had to like change her style and her personality in order to grow up and be a woman. I would have liked to have seen her still in a nice pink outfit in the real world at the very end, just because I don't like the idea that just to grow up, that means you have to grow out of being feminine. I just personally didn't like that. That's really the only thing I would have changed about the ending, is I would have still had Barbie in like a cute pink outfit. But yeah, overall, I really liked this film. Ken's song is obviously a standout. I really like the whole soundtrack, but of course, Ken's song, where Ryan Gosling is just singing his heart out about how he's just Ken. Again, the whole message of the movie is in this song, so just give it a listen again if you think this movie is anti-man, because it's really well done. You could tell this whole movie was just thought out from the get-go. The production design is incredible. The acting is incredible. I love that there was a unified vision behind it. I think Greta Gerwig is an exciting director, and I think she deserves all the success that she's getting from this movie. I think we need more creative movies like these that have more of a fresh vision from a director, and not just another movie that comes from a corporate machine of never-ending sequels. Overall, I just think it was really well done, and I really liked this movie. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Barbie movie. Overall, I'd say I'd give it an 8 out of 10. If I had to really grade it on a 10 scale, I think an 8 is solidly where it's at. Overall, I think it's very well done. I think it's well written, well acted. The visuals are incredible. My biggest critiques for this movie are honestly, again, I didn't like the ending where suddenly she had to be all kind of frumpy and beige for some reason. And I did think that the messaging was a bit on the nose and heavy-handed at times, specifically with that America Ferrera scene. But really, those are my only big critiques for this movie. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fresh. I thought it was very original, and I'm very happy for everyone involved, but the movie is doing very well. But what did you guys think? Did you like Barbie? Did you think it's anti-man? Do you think I'm wrong? Please let me know in the comments. I'm sure I'm gonna hear a lot of thoughts. But if you understand what I'm saying and what I mean, also let me know your thoughts. I want to have a discussion about this. Again, I do live streams every day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please join me for those live streams where we go more in detail about these subjects. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye!